I am a firm believer that the enemy will keep you stuck to prevent you from stepping fully into God's calling on your life. Remember, his main goal is to steal, kill, and destroy, whatever it takes to draw you away from the Lord. Even resentment towards the body God gave you, negative self-talk, poor body image, overeating, undereating, and even as simple as keeping you busy, distracted, or doubtful you can actually make changes.
Do you struggle to stay consistent with healthy eating and just want food decisions to be easy, guilt-free, and sustainable? You're in the right place. Hi, I'm Chelsea, nutritionist and fitness coach who overcame restrictive yo-yo dieting and body image insecurities using simple nutrition tools, all backed by biblical principles. And now I help women like you find that same freedom with food so you can feel confident in the look and health of your body for decades to come. I'm ready to dive in with you. So grab that cute notebook you've been hanging on to and let's go.
I think the biggest game changer for me in this journey is seeing how my relationship with food has changed. I didn't even know it needed changing when I first started this program. I just wanted to lose some weight, to feel better about myself, and knew I needed guidance with nutrition. But here I am 4 months later, seeing how much control food had over me without even knowing it, which is exactly why I couldn't stay motivated or make healthy changes on my own. The biblical perspective has really transformed how I see food, and myself for that matter. I really can't put into words how grateful I am for you and this program, Chelsea. This is a note of reflection from one of the Sustainable Way graduates who actually started with a diet-free nutrition coaching call. And I wanted to share it with you because I know sometimes it feels like we are doing all the right things, but nothing seems to be working or sticking, at least not well enough to be worth the effort. And in that case, just as it was for this client, the answer may be less obvious. A simple shift in our approach. So if that sounds familiar, I encourage you to schedule a diet-free coaching session with me. Together, we will uncover what it is keeping you from making progress and set you up with an exact plan for how to take your next step. Simply head to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your call with me, and I will handle the rest. That's coachreign.com/dietfree. And now, welcome to Nutrition for Christian Women. A lot of times when someone wants to work with me on their nutrition, it's because they feel stuck. Either because they've tried a bunch of diet plans and nothing's really worked, or at least not sustainably long term, or because they want to make changes but are overwhelmed by where to start. Both are frustrating and leave us in that paralysis by analysis state, and then we get nowhere. If you can relate to that feeling of being stuck, here's what I want to tell you today. The enemy has some pretty clever schemes to keep you there. It's not always a you thing, and I hope by unveiling how he works to keep us stuck in bodies we don't love or aren't serving well, that together we may be able to get you unstuck. I am a firm believer that the enemy will keep you stuck to prevent you from stepping fully into God's calling on your life. Remember, his main goal is to steal, kill, and destroy, whatever it takes to draw you away from the Lord. Even resentment towards the body God gave you, negative self-talk, poor body image, overeating, undereating, and even as simple as keeping you busy, distracted, or doubtful you can actually make changes. The reality is, none of that is true. It's all clever deception. So let's reveal 3 ways I have seen the enemy work to keep people like you and me stuck in a body we don't love. The first being temptation that leads to guilt or shame. Think about that moment when you ate something and not too long after you regretted it. We think about how we can make up for it the next day by doing a longer workout or skipping a meal or do nothing different and just beat ourselves up because we know that we shouldn't have had the birthday cake or whatever it was. It wasn't even that good. Why can't I just say no? All of that, yeah, from the enemy. What happens is we're presented with a temptation, let's say birthday cake for this example, and we go into the party telling ourselves we won't have any, but then as they're passing out slices and you get this thought, well, I've been really good today, actually. A small piece won't hurt, and I don't want to be rude. So you eat the cake, and then that guilt cycle begins. This is an exact parallel to what Eve faced in the Garden of Eden, and it worked so well for the enemy then, why wouldn't he keep using it now? Let me read you that exact passage from Genesis chapter 3, verses 1 through 7. The serpent was the shrewdest of all the wild animals the Lord God had made. One day he asked the woman, "Did God really say you must not eat the fruit from any of the trees in the garden? It's only the fruit from the tree in the middle of the garden that we are not allowed to eat. God said, you must not eat it or even touch it. If you do, you will die." The serpent replied, "God knows that your eyes will be opened as soon as you eat it, and you will be like God, knowing both good and evil." The woman was convinced. She saw that the tree was beautiful and its fruit looked delicious, and she wanted the wisdom it would give her. So she took some of the fruit and ate it. Then she gave some to her husband who was with her, and he ate it too. At that moment, their eyes were opened, and they suddenly felt shame at their nakedness. So they sewed fig leaves together to cover themselves. You know, something I help my nutrition clients with is learning to discern the difference between temptations and cravings, because they're actually two very different things that we often get confused. Temptations are from the enemy, while cravings are from the Lord and how He designed our bodies to survive. Knowing how to tell the difference can save us so much time feeling bad about our food choices and keep us on the right path towards our health and body goals long term. I hope this passage from Genesis can really paint the picture for us, how the enemy uses temptation, and then as soon as we step into it, fills us with guilt and shame. The second tool the enemy uses to keep us stuck is gluttony, or fear of missing out. Now, I have previous episodes that dive deeper into gluttony, plus an entire chapter of my book, The Guide to Eating Biblically in a Modern World, which you can order a copy of from my website, coachrain.com/book, if you want to go even further into that topic. But high level, gluttony is a sin. It's idolatry with food. The enemy uses gluttony to keep us from relying fully on God to provide everything we need. God gave us fullness cues for a reason, and a lot of passages throughout Scripture warn us against gluttony. Modern science tells us that eating too much, even of a good thing, leads to a whole slew of health issues, including, but not limited to, obesity, high blood pressure, heart disease, type 2 diabetes, cancers, fatty liver disease, weakened bones, and generally shorter lifespans. So, what does it look like when the enemy places gluttony in our path? Say you're at a friend's house. They're having a barbecue. It's a potluck where everyone brings something to share. You go through and fill your plate with a little bit of everything, and everyone's sitting around and talking, having a grand old time. But in the back of your mind, you really want to get some more pasta salad. Man, that was so good. And you can only get it here because no one makes pasta salad like Rachel does. So you get more pasta salad. But while you're there, you get a little more watermelon because there's a bunch of that left. And maybe another deviled egg because, again, you love them, but you're not going to make them yourself. And then someone offers you another drink. Then after that, you tell yourself, okay, definitely full now, no more food. But some more time passes, You're in a conversation right by the charcuterie board, and you find yourself grazing without even realizing it. Before you know it, you're trying to sleep upright that night because you are too full and uncomfortable and don't want to get heartburn, recalling everything you ate in the moment you should have stopped but didn't. I think we have an idea of gluttony that's reminiscent of Augustus Gloop from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, just stuffing our face all at once without a care in the world. But Genesis tells us that the serpent is the shrewdest of the wild animals God created. The enemy is more conniving than that. Gluttony sneaks up on us. Most of us don't set out to be gluttons. It just kind of happens because we're not actively working against it. It's that feeling of just one more or get it before it's gone that usually pulls us into gluttony. And the way I help my nutrition clients overcome this is by establishing conditions and non-negotiables, as I call them, to draw clear boundaries with food and sometimes people. This is 100% something we can establish during a diet-free coaching call. Just head to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your 1-hour session with me, and we'll get you totally set up for success. No more gluttony for you. And the third way the enemy uses food to keep you stuck in a body you are not in love with, and perhaps not stewarding to its fullest potential, is by making food a tool for comfort. You see, part of God's design with food is the dopamine release we get upon eating. That's one of our happy hormones, and it's actually quite brilliant to pair eating with happiness. It incentivizes us to eat for fuel, also by God's design, which necessitates working in order to have food. It's kind of full circle. The enemy uses this part of our biology to twist it into replacing our need for God. What might this look like in everyday life? A lot of times I see it connected to stress. You've got a big event deadline at work and 37 things are going wrong with it, plus your kids are being difficult and your check engine light comes on. You don't have the time or bandwidth to make a proper diamond meal, so you swing through the drive-thru line on your way home and maybe get an ice cream because you just need it. That is using food to self-soothe. It's not even a conscious effort. We just inherently know that food, especially the processed junk food that's been chemically engineered to exceed nature's flavor profiles, will make us feel a little better for a little while, aka the dopamine response. But here's the thing. Dopamine is pretty short-lived. Chasing that is similar to a drug high. What we really want to chase is serotonin, the fulfillment hormone, a much longer-lasting feeling of upliftedness that really has very little to do with happiness. Turning to food for comfort gives us quick fix dopamine, but turning to God for comfort gives us serotonin for a much deeper, longer-lasting sense of ease. After all, Jesus is the Prince of Peace, but if the enemy can convince you that feeling better is in that glass of wine, he'll do his best to try. Now, there are so many other strategies the enemy uses to keep us stuck in discontentment with our bodies, which are truly gifts from the Lord, designed by him. But the 3 that I covered in today's episode, just to review, are number 1, temptations that lead to guilt or shame. Number 2, gluttony or fear of missing out. And number 3, turning to food in place of God for comfort and peace. Again, if you are ready to take that next step in getting unstuck with your diet and health of your body, head to coachrain.com/dietfree to book your 1-hour coaching call with me. I'll answer your burning nutrition-related questions and give you an exact blueprint of what to do next, with step-by-step how-tos so you can finally feel in control of your food and transform your body to one you're actually proud of. That's coachreign.com/dietfree coachrain.com/dietfree to schedule your coaching session, and I will take care of the rest.
I pray this episode was helpful to you, my friend. If so, could you do me a massive favor and take 30 seconds to write a review? This is the best way to bless me big and help more people learn just how simple eating healthy consistently can be. And if you want more value-packed info from me, head to coachrain.com and sign up for the Weekly Harvest, my weekly emails filled with recipes, how to use food as medicine, biblical nutrition, and more. That's coachreign.com for the Weekly Harvest. Blessings until next time, sis. Toodles.